Now, you can contrast that to where there was no impeachment inquiry to Vice President Biden when he was giving a speech and said, you know, I held up $1 billion worth of aid unless the prosecutor was fired within 6 hours. And son of a bleep, that's what happened. Now, you know, it seems to me that if you're looking for a quid pro quo and looking for something that was really over the top, it was not saying, do me a favor. It was saying, son of a bleep, that's what happened in 6 hours. Now, you know, the Republicans who were in charge of Congress at the time Biden made that comment, we did not tie the country up for 3 months and going on 4 now, wrapping everybody in this town around the axelrod. We continued attempting to do the public's business. That's not what's happening here. And I think the American public are getting a little bit sick and tired of impeachment, when they know that less than a year from now, they will be able to determine whether Donald Trump stays in office or somebody else will be elected. And I take this responsibility extremely seriously. You know, it is an awesome and very grave responsibility, and it is not one that should be done lightly. It is not one that should be done quickly, and is not one without examining all of the evidence, which is what was done in the Nixon impeachment and what was done largely by Kenneth Starr in the Clinton impeachment.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.